Welcome back to Game Changers Championship 2024, and for our last match of day one, it's going to be FlyQuest Red versus Zipto Gaming. I'm Victoria, and on the desk alongside me is Mimi, like super comfortable.
I'm chilling. It's a couch.
Yeah.
We just teleported over here.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, straight from casting, and now you can have a well-deserved break on the couch.
Whoa! Analyst desk is hard work. Okay, it's not like a break. Let's not do that.
Okay. Well, what's tough is going to be this rematch today. These two teams technically have never met on this stage, but it's kind of a rematch from one of the most infamous moments from last year. Do you want to just remind the audience what that was?
If you look at the top of your screen there, you see a really interesting comp. The thing is, they didn't mean to play that comp. That was Team SMG, of which 4 of their players are now on Zipto, and they locked this in, thinking it was a tech check, and then just rolled with it and absolutely dominated EG, whose core is now FlyQuest regardless.
How GigaChat is that? You lock in the wrong agent and you don't even like complain about it, or you're like, yeah, okay, I guess we'll play it.
Fine,
and
we'll win.
Crush.
Yeah.
Their star duelist, Inari, was on Cypher. So on top of that was like 4 duelists, and then
their one duelist player. Yeah. It's so crazy. And I mean, you saw FlyQuest tweet out about this as well. Starbound typing, "Let's not lose to 4 duelists again." Of course, they, as well as Thea, the IGL, and Coach Jovi were all the core of that team that was EG that have now come over and created FlyQuest with some other really great players around them.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see how this iteration, how this squad is going to come together and how they're going to do against Zipto this time around. In fact, we are going to have some interviews over with FlyQuest, so let's go over to that interview and see what they have to say.
I'm now joined by our very own Sonder from FlyQuest. Now, I think one of the things everybody missed the most last year for GCC was the lack of Sonder time. So now you're back. I wanted to ask you, what is Sonder time, first of all? Can we get a definition?
Sonder time is definitely when you just see me having really fun on the stage, yeah.
And how many Sonder times are we going to see today? How do we know that, oh yeah, that is time for Sonder time?
Bro, when I'm streaming, I get up, I'm like putting my hands up and everything. I'm like very visual with my hands, so when I'm having fun, everyone in the crowd gotta have fun.
And is it encouraged for the chat to spam Sonder time and maybe some hashtags out there as well? Can we get an endorsement?
Soldering time, I guess.
Yes, let's do it. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a favorite sondering time? Like Sonder time?
I would say my favorite is when it's sondering time. That's my favorite.
I personally prefer when Sonder just Sonders all over them, you know?
Oh, that is good too. You're right about that one.
Now, FlyQuest is coming in as the 2nd seed from your region. And I have to say, they're one of the few teams to best Shopify. That's a pretty big bragging right there.
One of only 2 teams that's done it. They did beat them in what was a qualifier, right? And they lost them 3-0 in the finals to actually make it here. But still, this was a team that was one of the very few who can say they've pushed the former champion.
And I think so much of it comes down to how good they are at fighting together as a team, right? Like, this team plays some wacky stuff, right? They played Dodo Nut on the Sage on this Icebox map. They play without a duelist, but the way they coordinate their fights together is so locked in. They've been playing together for a very long time, and I think it's that level of coordination that lets them thrive even against a team as talented as Shopify.
Yeah, and we were mentioning, you know, it's Sondering time, and when she was on Shopify 2 years ago in Berlin, it was all about her on the Neon, being a star duelist, diving in, going crazy individually, but it's not really that anymore, right? She's role swapped over to mostly playing the KO, that initiator role instead, and I think that they've shown a lot more depth from the last time we saw this team.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of our key players from this team that look at her amazing clips.
Yeah, I mean,
so many of them.
She was just frying on Raze. And remember, like, this was 2022. This was like a time pre-fluorescent, right?
Yes.
And Sonder came into this international tournament, making it to the finals, and she became NA's premier duelist player in the GC scene.
Victoria, you asked me what's your favorite Sondering time? That
That's a good
last
one.
clip,
Yeah.
the 4K on Pearl was iconic back then. And, well, it was a great run, and Sonder, I think, impressed everyone. It did end in failure. They were the first team to give get reverse swept at a global event in Valorant.
Don't remind me.
I mean, completely heartbreaking for them, and that's how G2 managed to lift that trophy. So for Sonder now, coming back with a different roster around her in Berlin 2 years later, I think it really is about redemption and showing who she is as a player now compared to then.
Yeah, I'm really curious, what are some of the key takeaways, I think, from their playstyle that's really going to enable them for possible success against Zipto today, who's just such, with their raw firepower, how are they going to come up against that?
I mean, for FlyQuest as a team, I think their real strength is in how they fight together, and also the stranger comps they play. Like, they play a Phoenix comp on Haven that no one else is really doing. But again, the way that they team fight together, whether it's just like full-on execs or retakes as a team, like, this is not a team that's trying to like reinvent the wheel, like fake you out on a macro scale. This is a team that just beats you when they run at you with 4 or 5 players, and it just feels so overwhelming to face off against.
I think they also have a good amount of depth as well. Thea, when she was the IGL for EG last year, she had only just started IGLing, like a few weeks before qualifying to that event. They were playing with the sub then. I think she, now with this new roster, has really grown into the role and done such a great job finding the right adaptation when they need to, slowing these rounds down and giving a lot of success no matter how weird or how normal the comp is they're running.
I think the thing that I have found facing off against FlyQuest is they call in threes a lot, where they'll play 3 rounds that look similar at the start with that opening volley of utility. The first 2 end up following a very similar script, like you open up one area and you end up re-hitting, but that third round is something completely different where they use that same conditioned utility to sell a really effective fake on another side of the map.
Now we have to talk about the opponents. FlyQuest, I think they're gonna have a lot of work cut out for them today because their opponents, Zipto, have dropped only 1 map. 1 single solitary map this entire season, all year. They're completely undefeated in APAC. Zipto is scary, and they have a reputation.
And APAC is not like China, where it's 1 qualifier event to get in. No, they are playing 3 series. They are playing a ton of Valorant, and they are absolutely dominating throughout that one. Like we were talking about, this is the core of Team SMG, and despite having a new player, I think the style is still really similar. It's about that aggression, and it's about just the pure individual skill on this team.
And look, it was the exact same story heading into Sao Paulo yet last year, where Team SMG went undefeated their entire domestic run, right? And then they ended up having a pretty solid performance overall. They made it into that into 4th place at the end of the day, but that team I know thinks they could have done better, and the 4 players that are returning to the stage are definitely going to want that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of last year, actually, the fact that they could make that happen on Lotus with the 4 duelists, I think that just is a huge testament to the raw firepower, but I think Valorant VCT overall has completely evolved beyond that. So Zipto, they've mentioned working on this themselves, kind of taking it to that next level, but I really like that they still have that core essence there of just going in and not letting their opponents think. In fact, the addition of Tara, or the re-addition of Tara back into the roster to bring back that structure is something they've often talked about.
Yeah, Tara was a sub for the team in the past, now a full member, now that they are Zipto. And the players have talked a lot about how they feel like she's kind of adding a little bit more structure into the round. She's not their primary IGL, but she's that player that's in the mid-rounds, kind of tempering their aggression a little bit, keeping players in line, and then all the while, I think, having a ton of impact as an individual too.
Yeah, because honestly, I think you really need to have that sort of like extra voice going into a game, especially in a game like this, because both these teams are so strong mechanically and also just so good at fighting together. I think this game is not going to be won or lost in just those like all-out fights. It's going to be about finding those windows in the mid-round, and that's something that Tara can definitely help with.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, if you kind of, we're familiar with this roster by now, the XSMG roster. The 4 of them, they're quite aggressive personalities. And I mean that in the best of ways. They are just out there, and it reflects in their playstyle. So you need someone like Tara to just kind of...
I mean, I was watching online at home, and you could just like hear this team yelling when they were on stage. When they have a chance to play it and land like this.
All the way
Alexi,
in Philly?
Yeah, from Philadelphia.
That's crazy.
Yeah, across the world.
Wow.
Alexi does have a war cry. And you can really hear it like through the walls, and even over back in APAC during the finals, we could hear her literally through the walls. In fact, let's talk about Alexi. Alexi is the primary IGL now. She's moved back onto that role, and I feel like she's so much more than just an IGL. She's one of those IGLs who can frag out of her mind.
100%.
Yeah, she is like, when I think of Zipto, she is the player. Alexi is so good at winning out in these clutch rounds. Her raw mechanics are so insane. And then she's also, like we're talking about, yelling, bringing the team's energy up, calling these mid-rounds. I think that she is the most important player on the Zipto roster.
Yeah, and if you're looking at like fragging like initiator players in this tournament, like she is at the top right there. She's absolutely insane. I think it's more for me than just looking at Alexi in the context of the team. I think Alexi is just one of the top players to watch at this tournament, bar none, and especially in her role. Like, she is a person that is going to be constantly turning heads.
Yeah, 100%. She's so well-rounded. Her game sense is really top-notch. I think she's just proven to be one of these really key players here at Game Changers, just being an all-rounder there. I really like her pairing with Inari as well. This is a new thing that's sort of developed since last year. As a duo together, you can see her setting Inari up for success as well.
And I think what is so important about her is that, well, she is the one normally setting up Inari. She's also the one, when Inari dies, that is always getting that second kill into the round, is always converting these player-up situations into a win. But I do think we need to see more from Inari, right? Well, Dodonut has had a great year and has been so consistent. I think Inari has struggled a little bit towards the end of the run in Asia, but last time we saw her in Berlin, Christy, she was lights out.
Yeah, I mean, her and Alexi too. Like, it was no fluke that they were dominating in their own domestic scene. They came and they had a lot to show.
Or in Brazil it was.
Did I say here?
No, I said Berlin.
You said
Brazil.
Berlin. It's you're the fool.
Now we're in Berlin.
Not me. I'm not the fool. You're the fool.
Do you guys have a quick prediction? Is this going to be like the bias for the regions?
I think it's super close. I honestly think Zipto's going to take it.
Oh, interesting.
I'm biased for the regions. FlyQuest.
All right.
That's
why we got to sit it down to the stage because we're going to welcome our two teams, Zipto Gaming and FlyQuest Red. All right, match 3 up today. We got FlyQuest Red facing off against Zipto Gaming. Zipto Gaming often compared to the PaperX of Game Changers, and FlyQuest Red, like we're talking about, they push Shopify Rebellion.
It's so funny to me that that's a comparison, because I think in terms of the firepower it is, but if I'm thinking about comps, I feel like FlyQuest is so much closer to that. And coming in with 2 new maps in the pool and starting off on Pearl, I'm really excited to see what Fly cooks. Because if my memory serves, the last time this core was playing this map, they were locking in a Phoenix.
That's why, and they play Phoenix on a lot of other maps.
In
like
the current year.
Absolutely insane. But honestly, I'm really nervous for FlyQuest's map pool heading into this event, because I think Lotus and especially Icebox were 2 of their strongest maps.
I think Icebox was their best map.
Icebox was absolutely insane how good they were at dominating fights over the A site. So I hope they've had enough time here to put in some strong reps here on Pearl to show up in a big way.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really exciting matchup here. Shirazi, I got to shout out her hair.
Looks good. That's new,
so
right?
Cool. Yeah, it's so new. Yeah, she was blonde just a couple weeks ago. I think she's coming in fresh to Berlin with a new look here. And this team, you know, I think they are trying to keep themselves a little bit more tempered, a little bit more structured coming in here. But FlyQuest, I know they want to make their mark here in Game Changers.
100%. And honestly, especially for players like Starbound and Thea coming in here right after, you know, winning stage 3 in America last year and then bombing out in Sao Paulo, right? It's so important for them now to actually have that strong performance internationally.
And that first match they lost was against this same team, right? There is a real chip on the shoulder, I think, to come back and beat the team who locked 4 duelists and destroyed you.
But you know what? The other team has a pretty good duelist as well.
Oh, yeah.
In the form of Donut, one of my favorite snacks.
Oh, it is! It's
There
Neon
we go.
Phoenix! It's Neon and Phoenix! Oh my god, wait, this is actually insane. The amount of walls they have to like get out onto a site, well, I've been thinking like Neon makes a lot of sense, and it's actually double duels on both sides.
Yeah, this is crazy. So FlyQuest, number one thing that I think you have to stop if you are Zipto is Sonder farming ult. They're going to put a big priority on getting that Phoenix ult online. It can really help the snowball.
I feel like Zipto's comp has to be so hard to play on defense, though. Without a Sentinel, it means either like Harbor and Astra are both agents that want to have util in hand doing things, but they actually have to hold lines. So they're going to be super reliant on those players like actually showing up in fights when it matters, and also Inari and Alexi getting active.
And Thea and Starbound, those 2 players are going to, I think, really focus on this attack side, on working these lurks and finding those holes where there's no Cypher utility.
Well, we've had a 2-0-2-0 kind of day so far. I have a feeling this is not going to be the case for this particular matchup, but it's going to be a fast one. It's going to be a crazy one. Let's get the final match of today's starter. We're going to send it over to your casters. It's Pots and Pans.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this game, this head-to-head so early has certainly caught our eye, hasn't it, Christine?
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to be here with you, by the way.
Such
Happy
a
to bring
pleasure.
you out.
Pleasure's mine, Lauren.
Yeah, okay.
I'm excited. This is a
Talk to
team
me.
that it's just ingrained in my brain. I will never forget that moment that the desk touched upon when they busted out the 4 duelists and Inari, the main duelist, was on the Sentinel and top frag. So I'm excited. Both squads busting out the double dive. And as Ender mentioned, both walls on FlyQuest. Both these squads are lacking those flashes, the pop flashes that we generally see coming out from KO. So we'll see how both teams kind of compensate for that. They're going to want to get real up and close and personal up against those walls, and a lot of damage onto Inari here to start.
Yeah, good beginnings. And you're talking about pressure here for FlyQuest. Probably you'd imagine on paper to the maybe untrained eye who hasn't watched previous GC, you might be putting it heavily in their hands, but Zipto are no slouches. They're dangerous as a team, and they could certainly punish, and they have punished a good few members of the team against them. Now, already first blood drawn. Camus is already out of this, but Alexi has answered back. So we do have at least a 4v4, but it's just high priority towards looking like it's just funneling straight towards A.
A lot of trades coming back and forth. This push from Terra is going to mean everything, but the stun and the slide coming out from Donut, that should secure the site, and Alexi was so low, gets cleaned up here by Sonder, and it just comes down to Shirazi. Not going to be enough. That was good utility and a good response coming out here from Zipto. I like that they refought towards that art, not willing to give it up here from FlyQuest, but that shot coming out here from Eve, finishing it off with 3 clean kills to boot as well. What a start here coming out for FlyQuest.
And I think it somewhat sets the tone, doesn't it, Christine? It's going to be one of those where we see this composition coming in, we see the Phoenix, we're seeing the Neon. It's good to see that confidence building early. But it is about confidence, though. You're going to pick an agent like this, like your Phoenix coming out early. You want to be brawling. You want to be feeling that you're getting the rewards for all that. Build towards those ults as well. And Sonder, not quite yet Sondering time, but soon to be a little bit of a stack to begin with. But again, you're just going to be taking the tour here if you're FlyQuest. You're taking the entire map in, pick up as many ult orbs as you can. Maybe Zipto might try and have a little fight on it, but already Thea, keep it a good watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Towards the other side.
FlyQuest, they just want to do objective control. You talk about Sondering time pretty soon. I think by the bonus, they're going to have that Phoenix ultimate online. Sonder, I'm sure, is even going to get the spike to try to get an extra ultimate board orb on the board. But no, they're just going to hand it off to Ev there. Yeah, I think the vision here for FlyQuest, yeah, they could have. They definitely could have. Probably have another plan with that Hunter's Fury. Ev is closer to the ultimate on the board, so surely they have a nice double dive coming through here for Donut.
It makes sense, wouldn't it? Now, is there any damage to be done? Let's see. You've got 3 up for Zipto. Anything they can get out of this is great, but again, if you're looking at it from FlyQuest, they just want to farm orbs, and they now have 3 new targets to do that from. Already Donut not going to find, well, it looks like almost all of them in the final. Gonna fall. It is Sonder gonna close that down. A flawless second round. It's exactly what the doctor would have ordered. FlyQuest can be happy with that. They got the ult orb on the other side. They are building up 2 heavy impact. Well, I mean, I say 2. It's near on 3 here, Christine.
Beautiful work done on the objective control. I would have liked to see Sonder loosen up a little bit and demand to get those eco kills for herself there towards the end.
It up.
Yeah, just 2 ult orbs away from getting that ultimate online would have meant a whole heck of a lot coming into this bonus round. But nevertheless, these weaponries, the Stinger and the Marshall on the board, you know FlyQuest, they're going to want to stick together.
That's a four-play stack.
They want to
They're fighting.
fight and win this A main fight. The slide!
But it's so risky on a bonus. Fortunately, Cameo is in the back lines and has taken away the 2 players who are almost trading that out effectively. They're doubling down. The Prowler does catch. So that's good information, and the spike being where it is keeps it under control. The flex, though, coming out from Starbound, taking the space by Art. Now they're somewhat trapped here. They're cornered themselves. Zipto, I feel, has to fight forward, potentially try and pick their poison here. This player's coming from every single avenue.
Oh, 3-prong attack. Ev just has to be real patient here. She knows that the bomb is down. And all 3 defenders right on top. This flank coming out for Thea, if she didn't have just a Marshall, but a different weapon, things could get real interesting. This shot, it's going to have to mean a lot. Kamiyu is fully aware.
Yep. With that clock ticking, that internal marker notes it. Cameo, great work on Starbound, but it's not the only player. There's still one more on that back line. That's the problem. And I think they've noted it. Yeah, Thea just gave away the game, I'm pretty sure here. Turn of attention, but Thea finds it. Good trade out from Alexi. Now down to Thea, can't make it count. But if we're talking damage, that's 3 rifles gone, but it is a round for Zipto.
Yeah, that's a W round if you're FlyQuest Red, you know, for sure.
round.
W round, Lauren, indeed. For Zipto, things got a little dicey when they had to place themselves in those close-range battles when you're up against those Stingers. But either way, they're able to stabilize, walk away with the round on the board, and that's really all you need. This round, 2 Guardians coming out with a little bit of half armor. Things that can get dangerous, but 1 ultimate round orb away here.
There's 2 options. I mean, technically they could get both here. Dodonut 1 off, and of course Sonder. So this is where it gets scary. So Alexi,
4-5 stuck together for Fly.
I mean, Alexi might be screwed here. Does actually get ignored somewhat for now. Can they get some damage? Shirazi's already gone down. Sonder's opened the site, but they didn't count on Alexi. That was 2 quick kills, and suddenly Zipto aren't out of this round. Yeah, the pace is there. Yeah, the pressure's there. But another factor that's there is Sonder's ult. Does she decide to burn this at some point? They're pausing. Ult's coming in. Wants to clear towards lane. Dealt with. Looking for the follow-up. Starbound follows in. Tara on the trade. And we're down to a 2v2. But no signs for a plant just yet. Spike back in hand. And the final rotation from Cameo coming over.
Tara's trying to
that's
be
a
real
risky.
patient.
Whoa.
Team is far away, but a beautiful punish to get a double kill there to equalize, and that is huge. 2 weapons once again saved to go over to the next round. And man, you know, if FlyQuest, if Sonder just waited for that trip to go off before proccing that ultimate, maybe tap the spike, play with her food a little bit, it would have encouraged Zipto to actually go past that street barrier and really place themselves in a checkmate position. But either way, decent response from Fly, but Zipto are able to close it out there. Oh, wow.
Damn.
That's the energy we need, Lauren.
She's after my job. She's selling it. All right, I'm in. Operator is out super early, up against the Sheriffs as well. We do have Dodonut with the ult as something to keep in mind. If that opportunity beckons, it can be invested. That's a belter from Sonder. Already, this art pressure has been going FlyQuest's way. They've got this one worked out so well, but it's Cameo on the other side. A tricky position, easy to be overwhelmed here, and the shots aren't clean enough. It's such a big opportunity for a punish. There's the ult, and there's the follow-up from Dodonut. Already a 3v3. Shirazi, 5 HP! But what are you meant to do against that little shorty?
Yeah, that pinch was incredible coming out for Thea, but look at the spike, Lauren. It's down. Alexi's just spotted it.
That's a gift.
Yeah, it's the deja vu once again. Spike down, defenders right on top of it, but this time both attackers are grouped.
Still got the utility as well. Didn't go for it, just hoping that no one had explored that far, that maybe it hadn't been seen. They had the full Sova kit if they wanted to be extra sure. Now down to Thea in a 1v2. It's going to be clutch. And it's so difficult. Zipto are in the game now. Waking up 3 big rounds now, consecutive, looking sharp.
Great info coming out across the board for the defenders. You saw Alexi start the round towards that A main, and as soon as that information came across that a B hit was in tow, she pushed out, got all the space, got rewarded by finding the spikes down towards that spawn. And that's twice now that FlyQuest Red finds themselves with the map control, able to place themselves in a post, but just unable to get that spike down.
And we do now see the tactical timeout, right? Yeah. It's an early enough warning sign. The first couple of pistols, hey, that's great. Get a pistol on your side, cool, you like that, that's a good feeling. But once you get to those gun rounds, if you start losing out, which they have been, that's 3 now pretty much back to back. I mean, there was the Sheriff round just now, but still, it's not what you want to be seeing, right? If this is your timeout as well, what have you noticed early on? Maybe if you're not looking at it from either team's perspective, but maybe some tendencies you noticed that they could be looking at adjusting going forward into the next couple of gun rounds here.
Yeah, I think they need to take a deep breath. It was just like that one round when Sonder was in the B site and that trip was down towards that street tile
Pause
entrance.
for thought, that second, yeah.
Right, you want to be able to finesse your enemies. You don't have to just run it down every time. You do need to do that sometimes to get the control that you need, create some fast trades, but once you have enough information on the board, just catch your breath, make a quick plan, and attack, right? And they had all of those tools out in front of them. The trip was there, so they just needed, somebody needs to step up, just call out, hey, off me, off the trip, flash off me. And for Zipto, they've been responding exceptionally well. This team doesn't have any flashes, but the way that it's ping-ponging off each other, the crossfires that Alexi created at B, pushing towards A, understanding the map control very well for Zipto.
So let's see what FlyQuest do. I mean, a lot of the things even you were just discussing there are kind of the intangibles, right? Very hard to pin down. It's not just do this instead, but looking like another build towards the ults. It's going to be Sonder with the priority to work. 2 away from that Phoenix ult. And actually just going to leave Dodonut posted over towards A for a second longer. Maybe look and see if anyone re-explores it, goes for a punish. And again, that art creep as well, that slow space take here. But Zipto aren't really overexerting themselves. They haven't. Okay, that was a very individual effort there, no fault. But now the burst towards A main, we can see Dodonut springboard forward. It's lovely. Sova coming in. Big damage towards Tara. That should be the A side open and available. 3-player pack working back in from B though. You got to look at the post plan and what they're going to do with this, because it looks like the spike is moving away.
Mid-round calling coming out here for Thea. You can see that there's a huge gap towards that B site, but they're taking a little bit longer than I would like. All 3 defenders should get an inkling here pretty soon. Things are a little bit too quiet to feel comfortable, and you can see that Shirazi, she's starting to make her way back.
Yeah.
For FlyQuest Red, this is it. Another one of those scenarios where they will be in a post
30 seconds left.
Once they get this spike down, need to position themselves in superior positions, create a crossfire, and it looks like they want to double push spawn.
Okay, the only factor could be Dodonut. A little bit deeper on the angle. Shirazi had no idea, but Shirazi did find Thea, so it was a trade out. Gonna smoke off the dart, and Alexi gets to keep their life. Moving closer, Neri then gonna start clearing close. Try and find these 2 players on the other side. Still good util on the Neri. Could maybe gap close a bit with it. Gonna have the smoke going in, the wall going out. Back of the site's clear. Starting process of elimination. They're starting to read into this post plant here. Dodonut forced off the angle, 16 HP. A quick little check by the Neris. Quicker! Stunning work from Zipto. Lovely work coming right back around.
And it was that process of elimination that you were talking about, Lauren. As soon as that neon wall comes out, they already heard that jet smoke sound cue coming through to cover that dart. So both players from Fly knew exactly where the retake was going to be coming, but either way, Zipto, they are not missing a beat. That slide creating that crosshair displacer was just too much for Fly. Another post-plant loss for FlyQuest Red on the attack here.
And a lot of the priority in our discussions and even the analyst desk, when you're looking at obviously this composition, it makes sense. When you've got the Phoenix in here, the Neons and everything else. But you're looking at the ults right now, Zipto has almost all of them. Obviously, Alexi invested theirs just a moment ago. But this is another big round for them. It could be almost a slam dunk. They have that one snowball round now in pocket. So what do they want to do? I don't think this got checked on last time. This push up from the Neon, they absolutely had no idea. Thea walks into her death. Good trade from Starbound, but you're looking at Tara as being the follow-up. Not gonna fall for it. Tara holds the line, and again, Sonder the only one able to really do some serious damage here. But again, you're looking at this. This was Sheriffs. This was them trying to clutch in towards something, but we're gonna need some Sondering time now.
You're gonna need a lot more than that. All 3 defenders are doing a fantastic job, not creating any gaps. Everyone has each other's backs, and Sonder's too nervous to even reload right now. No clue how close the defenders are. Only 2 bullets in the chamber. She's gotta make these count. That was close.
Sonder.
42 seconds left on the clock. She's got plenty of time to play with.
Oh, the discipline. What you were talking about there, the spacing. They were not giving Sonda an inch. There was no free kill, nothing that they could have really gotten away with. So Sonda made a go of it, but still they keep 4 of those ults in their pocket, didn't have to invest 1. And it feels repetitive from FlyQuest now. We've been seeing this pressure through Arc consecutively and consistently from Starbound. That's had highs and lows, a couple of openings, but again, you're starting to see Tara now look comfortable in that with 3 players coming towards her.
Tara's so comfortable, and she's the player that joined earlier this year, and since she's joined, Victoria mentioned it on the desk, ZipTo have only lost 2 maps all year long. That's not series, that's just maps. So Tara absolutely stepping it up, being an anchor, and Alexi barely missing that shot.
Come on, Sonda, that was audacious to go for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're ZipTo, you're starting to feel more confident. This team is known for their aggression, their explosive nature. Alexi's going to repeat that. That was a neon flying across. I'm going back in. Of course I am. Sonda now picked off. I need to see FlyQuest adjust here. I don't know what it takes, but I'm seeing that repetition being punished over and over and the confidence building more and more for ZipTo, and that's scary.
Yeah, and I think FlyQuest Sonder just got baited just too hard there. Grabbing that orb at A was too easy for the past 8 rounds. Finally, ZipTo have a plan to punish. They're going to have to keep that in mind moving forward. Now, Starbound has been finding a lot of success on the art lurk. You can see that they're going to be the last one to get contact towards Street. These 3 B players need to apply a lot of pressure, and the timing is perfect.
Excellent trade from Camu, though, because if you imagine Starbound was there, that pinch could have been devastating. It's kind of been mitigated to an extent now, but the plant's going to come in. We're going to have the ult coming out from at least 2 players here, Camu and Tara, both investing, so this post-plant is difficult. Alexi with the delivery, Thea's gone down, but the back of the site is Dodonut, still trying to play the best she can, but gets traded out. And Alexi, the bottom line to this story, 3 big kills and another big round. FlyQuest get held on 2.
What a retake coming out here for ZipTo. FlyQuest had everything they needed to make that round work. The pinch coming out for Starbound, the timing was perfect. She could have gotten away with the double kill, but just one seemed to be enough. Yeah, but man, ZipTo, the way that they're reacting so fast in these retake floods, it's not giving FlyQuest any time to breathe in these post plants. They're just not able to get into those optimal positions to make them tap.
And we will start having the conversation of what it's being, going to be looking like staring at 6 rounds against you, against an opponent that upset you in the past. When we talk about all the psychological impact of that previous series and this being your first opponent, it starts compounding. Now, Alexi, the confidence, brewing, building, delivering, Sonda's dead again, and all the follow-up backup. There is no individual fight here. ZipTo are fighting as a team.
Confidence.
They're re-pushing, they're re-peeking, they're re-clearing because they haven't been humbled. Alexi's on 12 kills and they just don't stop. They do not stop. Even if they can go, it's done for. Wrap it up, put a bow on it, I don't care. FlyQuest look shattered by this.
Yeah, the bait and switch was just too much there from Alexi and Aniri. That 1-2 punch coming through strong. And we've seen FlyQuest have success on that high-low crossfire. Slow clearing that art. Starbound on the lurk. But whenever ZipTo want to fight and they decide to have a response, it just comes out in ZipTo's favor so heavily.
And they're having fun. That's the part that scares me too. You're looking at the polar opposites. I hope we get a shot of the FlyQuest side when you're seeing kind of ZipTo smiles, confident, back in, and now speaking of back in, it's pacey again. Sonda Fury trying to maybe play off Hunter's Fury, take the space off the back of it, but Aniri already finds Starbound. They know where Starbound's going to be. Tara in the corner, lines him up again and again. It is just a brick wall that FlyQuest cannot break through. An attempt can be made, but it would need 4 kills here.
Deploying drone.
She does have the drone. It's 1 versus 2 now. If she's able to get the spike down here, I've seen crazier things coming out here for Ev.
Maybe not. ZipTo again. This game is being ripped away from FlyQuest. Christine, I mean, we've all seen games like this, but when you're on that side, when you're on that FlyQuest side, this can't feel good. It feels like nothing's working. The plan's not working. Where the hell do we go now?
Yeah, you've got to catch your breath. I mean, even coming out of that A main, they know they're up against an Astra. They know that Suck Orb is going to be on the floor. You've got to have a protocol in place ready to bait that out and mind the spacing. I think multiple times we've seen now from FlyQuest, if they talk to each other a little bit, caught their breath before actually scaling for the fight, things could have gone differently, but ZipTo are just not letting them catch their breath. Alexi with another opening.
She repeat! She went back in for seconds. The confidence is just sky high. And even looking back at that round, you had the tether coming out from Camu as well. You do have the Astra utility. They had everything so ready. It felt so perfect for them. Now, Dodonut does have the rifle. That's kind of the main thing. Does have ult as well. Could have maybe dropped that over to teammate.
No.
Sonda just trying to sell them something. Show them something lovely from Sonda. That's a rifle upgraded. But my problem, my worry, my quandary is that Alexi is on this side of the map. And Alexi has been filthy with that operator. Shirazi's got to play it cool, though. Play this patient. Looking for maybe some passive space. Doesn't want to, take too many risks here.
And we've seen this from Zipto before, as defenders just kind of giving up and regrouping all together. Camu found herself in a funky spot, solo all together, but only the pistol on Thea's back. This might be the first time that Fly are going to have a cool, calm, collected post. They'll be able to set up in these positions.
Will divide, though. How does that change things? That might pull back in Sondra, I guess, a less comfortable post plant. Investment from Dodonut and the ult as well. A little bit of spam, but it's Tara. So, what? How does Tara just get 2 from there? That feels impossible. Dodonut, I thought would be the first point of contact, but no. Dodonut now, with everything on her shoulders, can't stand the weight of it all. 9 rounds for Zipto. Christine, how did that just happen?
We need to see a
replay from that perspective.
Yes, I mean, Tara has just not been missing. The multi-kill after multi-kill in this second half has been incredible from this anchor, but just that slow angling, I mean, hopefully we get to see it out, but my goodness, these retakes coming out from Zipto, they're just impossible right now for FlyQuest to have any sort of answer to.
And it would be a discredit to how good Zipto are if you only ever look at this team as, oh, they're aggressive, they're explosive. They are playing genuinely well-rounded Valorant right now. It's the retakes, it's the composure, it's the discipline. You are seeing all of it, utility, everything. Now, double operators come out. I mean, they're flush for cash, why not?
The bait and switch double push once again coming out here for B. Now, you would think that this is both fighters way too far away from all the action towards A, but we've seen an incredible flank coming out here from Alexi before. And as I say that, the group of FlyQuest Red are just slowing it down. They want an opportunity to slow things down, potentially mid-round. Zipto, they have so much control in middle. The art is theirs.
And FlyQuest has to invest so much utility early because of this aggression that's been coming out. Even then, just the Aldro and having to be used to clear close mid.
Far away. It's used from so far away. That's a lot of information coming out for the defenders. Cutting off great lines from FlyQuest here, though, and they are choosing correctly or trying to disrupt all the rotations from the defenders.
Over this recheck. I like this though, spotting out Dodonut is huge, but Aniri goes down for it.
Wow.
That's perfect. Camu falls and suddenly the floodgates are open. There's pressure on the entirety of the map here. This is hard to hold for these 3 players, and Sonda starting to warm up a little bit here, maybe feeling out there could be another, and they're definitely going to hear the steps. So at this point, Spike is going down. Tara has been, I want to say noted, but it was just a spam into the smoke, maybe an expectation that Tara's around. Cam not going to see anything just yet. How far can Tara go with this? Just going to play forward, yeah. An audacious play. Not going to get what they want from it, but a 1v5. Alexi? Show me what you got.
Let's see. Let's see.
I mean,
she's going to have to speed it up. Yeah, it is last round. Let's not play for stats here, ladies and gentlemen. But she does have a... does she have the shorty?
That would be ideal. But time
for sure is an issue. Unfortunately for Zipto in this last round, the double op setup towards that long B did not pay off. I mean, FlyQuest though, finally, hopefully not a little too late, but they had an answer. Slowing it down, allowing themselves to breathe, and that punish from Dodonut towards A main was everything.
Well, if you wanted to see what happens when FlyQuest are put under pressure, you do not want to miss the second half. It's 9-3. Zipto are in the lead.
One enemy remaining. Flawless. We did that. Go, go, go.
The worries were not unfounded. A lot of people looked at this first game from the first day here at Game Changers Championship and worried about FlyQuest when it came to this. The history there between these two teams and some of these players, the pressure that Zipto could put on against a team that is meant to be this man-made Goliath. Yeah, they've got 3 rounds here. It's only map 1, it's the first half. You know, I'm just lying to everyone, really hyping it up. But there is reason to be worried.
Reason indeed. I mean, that PTSD will be coming through here for Jovi and squad. They starbound from last year, so they've got to stabilize. The good news for them is coming towards this defense, I think they're going to have a better time finding the kind of duels that they want. Phoenix on the attack, it is tough to find any sort of ground or space when the defenders are playing as well as Zipto did. Now, for Fly, they should be able to set little traps, little crossfires, and things of this nature with Sonder and get her activated, get her involved to try to maintain and fight for this A main. And you can see here from the start, FlyQuest Red, 3 fighters. They want to control this orb.
All right, game on. Confidence, all-time high for Zipto. FlyQuest gotta turn up now. We are live into the game. Hopefully we'll get some game audio for you soon. I promise we're working on it. And already Donut trying to get proactive, right? We kind of expected this from the very beginning. Sonder right there with her. Nice, big space taken. It's a boisterous start, isn't it?
And a quick reaction coming out here for Zipto, but the response for FlyQuest, they foresaw that this was going to be the gap. It's going to be up to Starbound. A lot of pressure coming their way.
Yeah, Starbound, though, stands tall for the first, and here he goes down, and the follow-up. This is huge. There's great positioning as well, just cutting off that back line. The spike now deep within enemy territory, as Zipto are kind of screwed on this. Alexi and Shirazi, they're great, don't get me wrong, but to try and walk into the Lion's Den like this is near on impossible. That's 5 players there.
And I think Alexi, she's taking your tip. You know, the slow down here. Shirazi's got to be real patient. Alexi's hoping to find a straggler, but Fly, the response, they just want to take out Shirazi.
Okay, Starbound's got a 3rd. Alexi. At this point, they're going, Jet's not here. Where's the Jet?
Where's she gone?
Where's she at? So I think they've put it together, really.
30 seconds left.
With 27 seconds, the options are very limited. Alexi will have to let her hand be known. Cam in play. Oh, it's such an upsetting feeling when you get hit with that little camera. 4. Yeah. Yeah, we know. Don't worry. Swing it. Swing it. Hit 4 in a row. Go on, just. Oh, wait a minute. I was joking. Calm it down. Okay, FlyQuest. They did, out of the 3 rounds that they had in hand at the start of that second half, 2 of them were from the pistol round. So they picked back up in a kind of similar fashion, right? They pick up the pistol round here. I want to see it convert into the gun rounds, but it's the start they needed if they want to try and make this competitive.
Absolutely, and I think the way in which they won this pistol round should give them the confidence that they need. It was dominant, they had all the control, and that ping pong, the crossfires working together. Not any of these players had to work too hard for those kills. So that's a beautiful start for FlyQuest Red, and that's exactly what they need to give each other a little bit of room to warm up into this half.
Okay.
Aggression!
Oh my god, Donut.
Anti-eco, no!
There's no way.
Oh no.
There's no way. Okay, well.
Well, okay, Aniri is low.
Yes.
She's low HP.
Yep.
But man, FlyQuest, they really do not want to give up this objective control. They chose to put themselves in that mid-range, close-range battle, come out on the bottom end of it. This drone should give info, but she's pivoting it towards Art.
Oh dear.
They don't want to get pinched.
I think they're 8 seconds away from the dart being back up though, at least, so maybe. Yeah, almost back on now. There we go. That should, question mark, should give away the game. It forces them forward, but oh my god, Aniri. Aniri was the player who was on low HP. How the hell is she the one to be doing this already? Again! Get out of here! Aniri needs to stop. Aniri has plot armor somehow. I don't understand it, and Starbound's probably left scratching their head as well, coming back in with this outlaw, because this isn't how it was meant to be.
The stinger and no flashes as well. Aniri just making her own luck on a broken buy. Starbound retaking with an outlaw. This is near impossible.
Yeah, I just heard it. It is impossible. Zipto. They just broke the backs of FlyQuest. Get out of this map. It is Zipto's choice here. So that's the one thing you can hold on to. It's their map. Don't worry about it. We got ours.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just talked about a confidence-building pistol round.
Yes,
and,
yes.
This one is a bit of a slap in the face, Lauren.
Antithesis of that.
Yeah, we're right back to where we started.
Right, we're back.
All good. All good.
dreams, asshole.
It's okay. For FlyQuest, it looks like they're going to go right back to this A main control. They really want to take advantage of Saunders' flashes around this corner. This time, with the broken buy, we'll see if Zipto make any mistakes and give them any opportunities, but should be a tough round, but
just get into the game. That's all I want from FlyQuest. Well, they're just giving them nothing, right? There's no quarter, there's no opportunities. And I kind of expected FlyQuest almost to be the one to be doing that, I guess, if I was like imagining this at the start of the day, but I mean, makes for an exciting first map at least. As it stands, for the sake of the quality of the rest of the series, I want to see FlyQuest just warm up, right? Like start feeling a little bit better in the game. It feels, some hesitation here and there, just not quite looking on the same page. But I mean, honestly, credit where it's due. Zipto just looked better so far. It stands going through the protocols here, just going for that nice little site take, clearing close. You're going to have everything there, the bells and whistles all to it, but there's no resistance. We know currently where FlyQuest reside, and it ain't that close now. They're closing the gap, though. Two players just evacuated that. Did they hear a player? They must have, because they're completely reshuffling this post block.
Reshuffling it for sure, and they just want to be able to do some damage, get some feel-good kills, some ultimate orbs on the board for themselves so that they can prepare for this long second half ahead of them. Gonna need to put every round on the board they can to posture for this comeback. But next round, I'd like to see a change, an adjustment coming out here for FlyQuest Red. No longer the 3 fighters towards A main. Just maybe bluff it a little bit, maybe go sniffing towards that mid, set up in a 1-3-1 so that those 3-pack can rotate freely and quickly and be mobile towards the A site and the B site here.
They keep that. Nope, okay, just opting to go down to the spike, and that's absolutely fine. 11-4.
Please stay alive.
Do they burn the other timeout? I assume they have another one. You might as well utilize it here. Maybe not.
This
Waiting.
is the time to do
Holding.
it if there's any time.
I think I called it early. Even production are behind me.
You're ahead of the game, Lauren.
What can I say? What can I say? There it is. Timeout is there. As they have it, they might as well use it, right? It makes sense. And I mean, you kind of highlighted what you'd like to see. Do you think they'll have a similar thought process? I imagine you're hoping so, but I worry the impact this has over the map.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The rest of this series, how this then feels going forward, because again, for Zipto, you couldn't ask for a better start. I think a lot of us saw the potential of an upset head-to-head between these two. It's happened in the past, and it looks a little more likely to happen again. But it's that first step on a stage where you get a negative outcome on map 1. It's very hard to mentally reset from that. So it's a little bit worrying in that regard. But I feel like you almost have to see this as just, I hate to say it, it sounds like every coach and player we interview, but round by round,
yes.
right? It's that idea of like reset, let's just try and play out as best we can,
You
right?
have to. You have to. You have no choice. You've got to approach this as the first scrim of the day type atmosphere and give yourself a chance to warm up into this second map. This second half, round by round, as you say, Lauren, each of those rounds is a warm-up session. It is a round to give yourself a chance to realize, hey, we got this, right? And for FlyQuest, they should be okay. They're a team that we talked about all year, leaning onto their game plan, leaning onto their teamwork, and they've been a team that have come close to being a contender of beating our #1 in Shopify all year long. So I have faith that FlyQuest, especially on this defense this round, it looks like they are going to go back to their bread and butter, which is this A main contest. And all 3 members, once again, they want to perfect this, Lauren. They want to make this right, and they want to dominate A main.
Back to business. Dodo Nut. Sonda, Tara looking to be maybe one to punish on that, but doesn't get the connection she would have wanted, but a quick reaction on the other side.
Yeah, and Starbound on pistol round had 3 kills to be able to hold the fort down. Once again, a lot of pressure coming their way, but most bodies coming towards that long B. Look at the trips, look at the cage. This is going to be Starbound's round.
Gotta have impact. They have to have impact. What are you going to do with the front line of utility, but the dash towards the back of the site and reveal forced away. Can no longer hold or maybe make the most of those setups, but still, this is a very well-crafted site take from Zipto. Now we look at the kind of flip of it. How's the retake going to look from FlyQuest? They have to get this right, and I kind of like this. I like it. It's so outrageous. Take all
She's
this
not stopping.
I mean, Thea was so switched on to even just shoulder peek that, to still check, because there's a chance that someone was there. So very well done. Shirazi, though, from all the way up B-long, just eviscerating FlyQuest. They are brought to their knees. Starbound could do nothing. They started this round in the right place, but it never felt like the right time. Zipto just strength to strength.
Domination. I mean, oh man, FlyQuest Red are just getting bullied in the server right now towards that B. That we saw the dart timing coming out from Ave as well. They were all the way on the other side of the map. It was a beautiful response coming out from the defenders. There were multiple opportunities for Starbound to get some shots off across with the trip and slow down that attack. But Zipto, it was just too easy. Too easy getting into that site. Not enough of a defense for an answer. And this is it. A broken buy coming out here for FlyQuest. This was the one round that Sonder had, and she looked more comfortable than anything with the stinger on her back. Now she has the ultimate as well, so this has to be the round where Sonder comes through.
It's a lot of pressure on her shoulders, but you got to see her make it work. Straight through Art. Alexi going to fall away from this, feeling presence, pushing forward. Tara already sends them away. Tara expecting the secondary player as well. So poised to deal with it. And Zipto now starting to take their steps towards Art. Already it's going to be a Neri, leaning a little bit closer. See the wall go up, trying to dissuade that approach. But again, there's further players elsewhere. Starbound's got to be careful. Nice shot. A little fortunate to catch Shirazi through the door. But really, Zipto just keep powering forward, step by step. Dodonut falls. Sonder and Starbound, the last two alive, and make it one. Map one looking locked in here, but Starbound gonna have to go nuclear here. Already the one to find Shirazi, so it would be an ace. Does manage to at least evade the ult. Could try and slip back in the space that they think is clear, but you can already see where Tara's watching. And I think this one is all but over. Starbound, a nice attempt, but 13-4, Christine. This is a reoccurring nightmare for FlyQuest and a dream come true for Zipto.
Yeah, a nightmare indeed. And man, this is terrifying going into map 2 for sure. FlyQuest, they've got to reset going into the backstage, get a nice pep talk going for themselves, and realize that this map 1, they're gonna have to set it and forget it.
Exactly right. Set it, forget it. Sunset on the horizon. You don't want to see how this one closes out. You don't want to miss it, is what I meant.